What if James won? What if the ballet studio wasn't the place where Bella almost died, but the place where she actually did? What if Edward arrived 3 minutes too late, and the love story that captivated millions ended in a pool of blood on a dusty studio floor? Before we dive into this devastating timeline, if dark, alternate endings are your thing, make sure you're subscribed, because this series only gets darker from here. Now, let's go back to that ballet studio, and let's watch everything go wrong. Imagine this. James, the tracker, is faster than anyone anticipated. Alice's visions are cloudy, delayed by seconds that matter. The Cullens miscalculate the distance, and when Edward finally bursts through that studio door, he's not in time to stop the venom. He's in time to watch her die. Let's explore the timeline where love isn't enough, where the danger Bella walked into for her mother's sake becomes the danger that kills her. Bella receives the phone call. James's voice pretending to be tender, claiming her mother is being held hostage. She slips away from Alice and Jasper exactly as planned, driving to the old ballet studio from her childhood, walking into a trap disguised as rescue. James is waiting, cruel, patient, delighted by his own cleverness. He doesn't rush the kill. He wants Edward to see the aftermath. Wants the video camera rolling so Edward can watch every second of what he's about to do. Say hello to mommy for me, Bella whispers into the phone. One last lie to keep her mother safe. Then James attacks Dot in the original story. This is where Edward's timing is perfect, arriving just as James bites her, giving him the chance to suck out the venom. But in this timeline, the Cullens are 17 minutes behind. Alice's vision came too late. The plane connections, the driving distance, the seconds lost arguing about strategy, all of it adds up to a fatal delay. James doesn't just bite Bella. He has time. Time to break her leg. Time to break her ribs. Time to make her suffer exactly as he intended, filming every moment for Edward's benefit. When the Cullens finally burst through the studio doors, they find James standing over Bella's broken body, her blood pooling on the wooden floor, her heartbeat already fading. Edward doesn't hesitate. He lunges for her, ready to suck out the venom, just as he would in the original story. But there's too much damage, too much blood loss. Her heart is failing not from the venom alone, but from catastrophic internal injuries that no amount of venom removal can fix. He tries anyway. He presses his mouth to her wrist, tastes the venom and her blood mixing together, and pulls with everything he has. But it's not enough. Her heart stutters, slows, stops. Alice arrives moments later to find Edward cradling Bella's lifeless body, sobbing in a way vampires aren't supposed to be able to do. Emmett and Jasper destroy James in seconds, but the victory means nothing. The battle was won. The war for Bella's life was lost. Carlisle checks for a pulse, for any sign of the transformation beginning. Nothing. James took too much time, too much blood. Bella Swan is gone. Charlie receives the call every parent fears. His daughter, dead in Phoenix, officially the victim of a violent attack by an unknown assailant. The Cullens can't explain the truth, can't explain vampires, venom, or supernatural war. So the story becomes tragic, but mundane. A random act of violence against a teenage girl, Renée, is destroyed. She blames herself for ever letting Bella visit alone, for the phone call, for everything. Charlie retreats into silence, going through the motions of police work while grieving in a house that echoes with his daughter's absence. The funeral is small, quiet, devastating. Edward attends from a distance, unable to approach the grieving family, forced to watch as they bury a girl he loved but couldn't save. He stands at the edge of the cemetery in the rain, invisible to the mourners, carrying guilt that will follow him for centuries. The Cullens leave Forks immediately. There's nothing left for them. There's no reason to maintain the cover story, no reason to continue pretending to be human teenagers in a town that now associates their family with tragedy, even if no one suspects the truth. Edward doesn't speak for years. Literally, he stops engaging with his family beyond necessary communication, spending decades in isolated grief. He replays those 17 minutes obsessively. What if they'd left 5 minutes earlier? What if Alice's vision had come through with better timing? What if he trusted his instincts instead of following the plan? Alice carries her own guilt. Her gift failed when it mattered most. She becomes obsessive about visions involving humans, terrified of ever missing critical information again. Jasper, already carrying guilt from the birthday party incident that started this chain of events, sinks deeper into self-loathing. The family moves constantly, never staying anywhere long enough to build connections. Carlisle watches his family fracture under grief, unable to fix what's broken because some wounds don't heal. They just become old enough to stop bleeding constantly. Jacob Black, who never got the chance to meet Bella in this timeline, grows up normally on the reservation. The wolf gene remains dormant because there's no supernatural crisis significant enough to trigger it. An entire bloodline of protectors never awakens because the girl, who would have connected two worlds, never survived long enough to bridge them. Years pass. Charlie eventually retires from the police force, moving away from Forks. Unable to stay in a town saturated with memories, he never remarries, never quite recovers. Carrying his daughter's photo in his wallet until the day he dies. Decades later, Renée has another child eventually, a half-sibling Bella never got to meet. She tells stories about her firstborn daughter sometimes, keeping Bella's memory alive in fragments. Though the pain never fully fades, the Volturi never learn about Bella Swan. There's no shield to acquire, no immortal daughter to threaten, no confrontation in a snowy clearing. The ancient vampire kings continue their reign undisturbed, their absolute power never challenged by a family that chose compassion over conquest. Victoria, upon learning of James's death and Bella's death in the same incident, feels no need for revenge. The human who caused her mate's death is already gone. She moves on, hunting elsewhere, never targeting Forks or the Cullens again. The supernatural world continues exactly as it always has. Dangerous, governed by ancient rules. No one proves that vampires can choose family over instinct in a way that matters enough to be remembered. No revolution begins. No hope spreads through covens. Tired of Volturi tyranny. 100 years later, Edward Cullen sits alone in a house somewhere in the world, immortal and unchanging, carrying a photograph of a girl who died at 17. He never fell in love again, not because he couldn't, but because he chose not to risk that kind of loss twice. He visits her grave sometimes, decades apart, standing at the edge of cemeteries in different countries as headstones change with renovations, as Charlie and Renée's graves eventually appear beside hers, as the family that grieved her death eventually joins her in it. The world never knows what almost happened, the love story that could have spanned decades, the daughter who could have been born, the confrontation with ancient vampire law that could have changed everything. Instead, there's just a girl who died young, a family destroyed by grief, and a vampire who learned that even supernatural strength and speed sometimes isn't enough. Sometimes 17 minutes is the difference between forever and nothing at all. So here's the question. Does this darkest timeline make you appreciate the original story more? Was Bella's survival always a fragile thread away from this exact tragedy? And does Edward's century of guilt feel like justice? Or just endless, pointless suffering? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Read every single one. If this devastating timeline hit you hard, smash that like button right now and subscribe, because we're exploring even darker what-if scenarios next week that you won't want to miss. Thanks for grieving this alternate timeline with me. Until next time, remember, in every love story, there's a version where it all goes wrong. We just don't usually have to watch it happen.